Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Starting from Scratch podcast with me, your host, John Kleisch, on episode 16. In this podcast, I am documenting my journey from starting from scratch, i.e., that's where I got the name, starting from $0 owned in commercial real estate all the way up to today, which I currently own about $2.5 million worth of commercial real estate in two different buildings. One's an industrial building that's mostly an auto body shop, and the other one being an office that is half vacant, or more like 5/8 vacant, and going through a remodel right now. I am going to do my best to give weekly updates and raw, unfiltered, and just chat about exactly what I have going on. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you very much for listening. I would recommend going back to the very beginning and listening to some episodes to get caught up to speed today, which is December 17th. And do some house cleaning items here. The podcast still doing good, really good. We're at 192 downloads so far, which is just crazy to think. I think I say this every time, guys, but I'm thrilled about it. I love, I don't check every week. I literally check right before I go do my podcast to see what's going on. So nothing I'm overly concerned about, but I love that people are tuning in, listening. We're getting new viewers and listeners every single week. We're in Australia now. Shout out Australia, man. That's crazy. That's literally across the planet, which is really neat. The boys in Ireland are like downloading every episode. Shout out Kieran there, and my brother Matt. Thanks for tuning in, man. Naperville. Shout out to Naperville, Illinois, everybody. So, what do I got going on? Man, oh man, it is day 33 of closing on that office building. And if you go back about 4 or 5 episodes, maybe more, I said that I really wanted to shoot for 30 days to get this remodel done in 30 days. And I knew that was like a stretch. That would be not wasting any time at all, getting to work and hammering it out. But guys, we are almost there. I can't believe it. Day 33 of closing on the office. 2 days were burned because I was out of town and it was over the weekend. We closed Friday at literally like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I am very happy with the way things are working out. My handyman, Tyler, who's one of my best friends, has been doing a bang-up job. I mean, kudos, hats off to you, Tyler. It's been awesome watching you work and seeing the progress that you've been putting in there. He got delayed a little bit by flooring because they came through and just knocked that out of the park too. They told me it was going to be 3 weeks to 4 weeks maybe, and they were done in 10 days. And if you listen to the other episodes about flooring, it was a kind of a nightmare picking out flooring, wasted a couple days here and there. So if I was able to get the flooring picked out sooner, we would have been done. We probably would have been done already. So that has been consuming most of my time because I'm currently paying about $245 of interest per day. So having that clock against me is just like eating away at me every day. It's like, we got to move that needle. And work has been getting done there almost every single day. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 days where nobody was there outside of the first 2 days, but I'm not going to count that. So progress has been going really, really well. Of course, with any remodel project, there's more things that are popping up here and there, mostly small things, nothing really crazy, but just here and there, you're doing this and you're doing that and you notice this, and now I'm spending a ton of time there. I'll notice things here and there. Like I haven't been doing much work. There was a 3-day stint where I was in there doing a lot of manual labor and whatnot just to help move things along. I've been really trying not to do that. It's been a bane for me in the past on wanting to get my hands dirty, get up in the mix, because I probably think I can do a better job than most people, which is definitely not true. That's only true if you hire really shitty contractors. That was my first swear word. I can't believe it. It's been 16 episodes and I haven't said a single swear word outside of that. Wow. Holy cow, my mom would be proud if she was listening, but I don't think she is. I think she probably thinks this is pretty boring. So, Mom, you would be proud. 16 episodes, 15 episodes of no swear words, and here we are. I just broke it. Dang, can't believe it. Oh, well. Historically, if you know me, I have a really bad potty mouth, and I like to use a very explicit vocabulary. However, for this, I've been trying my best to not, and it just slipped. So, it is what it is. I feel like my adult audience can handle some potty mouth words once in a while. So, and I totally forgot what I was talking about. Gee whiz. So, I had been painting the handrails there, something I didn't even think about, but I just saw them every day going up the stairs, and they just look like booty hole. So I'm like, cool, I'll paint those. And then, of course, I'm painting those. And I'm like, I'm just going to do the handrails, just going to do the handrails. That's all I'm going to do. And of course, now I'm looking at the bottom of the steps or the riser of the step. It's that metal too, and that just looks like butt. And I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be so much more work to tape off all the stairs and do this and blah, 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 blah. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I will probably just not do it, would be my guess. It pains me to say that, but it's going to take me over a day. And unfortunately, I feel like my time is best spent elsewhere. And I don't think anyone else is really going to notice. So I haven't made my final decision on it. I hope I stick with it. Keep me accountable, guys. I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. I am not doing it. Next episode, I better not have a whole episode on how much of a pain in the butt it was to do that. So I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. So I was there painting those handrails all day today. That was a lot of more work than I thought, on my hands and knees and underneath things and blah, 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 blah. Either way, there have been nothing major to pop up. But again, little things like I mentioned, just like that, where you see it and you're like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do this. So those things always pop up. Now, I really, really, truly, honestly believe that we can get this place buttoned up by Friday. That's my main goal. One big last final push of being there, getting everything all taken care of, all of the tape taken off, the outlet covers replaced, and got to like hang a bathroom mirror, hang a toilet paper holder. And by me, I mean, I'm not doing that stuff. That's going to be a Tyler type of thing. We got our security cameras up today to protect the outside from all the crackies that love to take a piss in the corner of the bathrooms, which are outside, that have been locked up. Funny story. I forget when I was doing it last week, sometime, I think Thursday, Friday. I was power washing all of the patio areas or the entrance areas and stairs. And then there was all these black stuff. And I just thought, not thinking, I knew there was crackies hanging out there, but I didn't think anything of it. I'm sitting there, no mask on, no glasses. I'm just power washing, blasting all this black stuff. And it just starts to smell like piss. And I'm just eating it, getting hit in my face. I got sick from it, just all that disgusting ground. I'm sure they're spitting their cracky spit on the ground and pissing and everything like that. So that was stupid of me not to wear a mask, but you live and you learn. 39 years on this planet, and I haven't learned my lesson quite yet, so I deserve it. So final push, here we are, literally just doing the final touches on it. Boy, oh boy, if we can get this thing buttoned up by Friday, that's 35 days. 35 days for a remodel, not too bad. And we're under budget, if you believe it or not, which is absolutely wild and crazy. I got to pay out Tyler, I don't know, 6-7 more grand, maybe a little bit more, maybe closer to 8 now, since we're always adding things here and there. And the next thing on the list is just getting this place cleaned up, which I hired a cleaner. The lady that has the flooring company that I went with has an aunt that does cleaning, so that worked out really well. They did a fantastic job. I loved working with them. They do high quality work for a very reasonable price, which is everything that any investor or any homeowner would love to hire. So that makes me feel good that the place is going to get nice and cleaned up. Monday, Tuesday, they're starting Monday, Tuesday, probably will be finished on that end of things. Overall, the place looks so good, guys. It's so fun to walk around and actually see all the work and have your vision in place and then actually have it come together, especially on a big remodel like this. It's about 6,400 square feet, so there's a lot of space in there. And I think we just picked a beautiful, perfect colored floor. We just did the bare minimum requirement to get this place up to snuff. And that decision came after a couple weeks of talking to people and having conversations with my partner, John Heisler, on this, and very, very glad we did that minimal amount of work, because walking into the place, it just looks so much better. It looks awesome. It looks like we did a lot of work, especially with all that gorgeous wood trim. Carpet on the stairways is going in tomorrow as well, so that will be done. We went with like a dark blue, kind of give it a little bit of a contrast, maybe an ode to the green carpet, if you will, that looks a little bit more modern. I'm excited to see how that turns out. I have a feeling it's not going to be like awesome. You're going to be like, wow, what a great color. However, I feel like it's going to be just totally fine. It is what it is, and I think it'll give it a good little pop. It'll look like kind of like an old sailboat, kind of a nautical theme type of deal, if you will. So stoked to see that come out into reality. What's also another big update is there is an existing tenant on the lower level, about 1350 square feet, who was grossly under rented. And I found out why. He's been there 11 years. Great guy. Dan Lindblad owns a financial advisory firm. He is like top of the food chain in New York life. Does a fantastic job. Great guy overall. Excited to sign a new lease with him. We've been going back and forth. He was about $8.39 a square foot is what he was paying. Maybe I think it up to $10 a square foot at the end. I don't even think so. I don't even think it was that much. But the gentleman that owned the building owned the CPA firm that was in the other side, the 6,400 square feet, and they would refer each other a bunch of business. So that's why he was getting a discounted rent, because they were sending each other clients and everything like that. Market rent's about $27, but you say market rent and everyone knows that's like the dream, kind of the benchmark or whatever. I really think it's about $24 a square foot, and the way that we purchased this building, I would be very, very happy to sign a lease at $20 a square foot, and that's what I proposed at first. We went back and forth, and then today we agreed on the terms, it starting at $2,000 a month, and instead of doing like a standard 3% bump in rent, we just did a flat rate. So I think it's like $150 added on a year. It's about 7% because it is under rented. And I feel like it's a great deal for both of us. He has under market rent, and I'm getting a great tenant. He wants to do a 5-year lease. So that's great for the bank. Right now I'm focusing on getting this thing ready for the banks. That way, when we go out and do a cash out refi or refinance into a standard traditional commercial loan, we want this thing to get the highest valuation that it could. Speaking of that, I had a meeting with the brokers that are going to be listing our property for us. It is the same gentleman that brought me our first deal, Grand Avenue. Loved working with them. Shout out Preston Brimhall. And Basis Commercial, I think, is his brokerage. Sharp guy, awesome, a little bit younger, super go-getter. Love that guy because he always answers his phone. Unbelievable. Very rare nowadays, especially in the real estate world, of people just don't answer their phone, which is just wild and crazy to me. But he was my first guy that I thought of to give him a shot. And without a doubt, he was going to get the business. He met there today. He has a new partner, which specializes in leasing, which is awesome for me. Perfect timing for that. That gentleman had done 300 leases this year, which is just absolutely asinine. It's almost one a day. I have no idea how he does it. Older gentleman by the name of Jack. I believe he's in his 60s, and he's just a killer. Just a killer. So that's great to have that in our back pocket. I feel so much better about the deal overall after meeting with them. Just checking out the market and the office. Everyone's office. Stay away. It's like the pariah of commercial real estate right now. So that is always just chirping in the back of my head, especially as things are moving along. We're spending all this money. And of course, negative thoughts will creep into my head. However, I got full confirmation today that it's going to be a great building to lease. Shouldn't be a problem to find a tenant. They're thinking about 3 months, and that's great because I was figuring, 6 months, maybe even a year to find a tenant. And when I said that, they looked at me like, "What the is going on with you?" No, if we don't get you a tenant in 6 months, there's something wrong. So it was great to hear that they were thinking of just what I was thinking. Exactly, that 27 is way too high. It'll just sit. We're going to price it at a point to where it's maybe at everyone's higher end of their expectation, but not out of reach. So it will draw calls. It will gain interest. People will want to see the building, walk through it. And of course, we are willing to work with tenants, especially if we get a good grade A type of tenant that has a good high quality business, signs a 5-year lease. So I told them, hey, if we can get $20 a square foot, I would be pretty dang happy. They're going to start at like $22, $23 a square foot. I wanted to do triple net, but they were saying, in this market, people are not really excited about that. We're going to have to kind of give some things away, meaning we pay for the utilities and we fix things here and there, which is fine by me. It's not the ideal situation because then you're going to get calls and you got to spend more money and get people out there to fix things. But if we can get a good tenant in there at $20 a square foot, I will gladly take that. So that was big and huge from that. So 2 big things happened literally today. getting the confirmation from Dan, tenant number 1 or 2, however you want to call it, Suite B, agreed to those terms that we pitched, which is great for both of us, and then getting confirmation from the listing brokers or the leasing brokers that this is a good deal. This shouldn't be a problem. Great area, great building. They loved all the work that we did. It says that it'll show really well. And for those of you who have seen the pictures, that green carpet, that was what they were walking into, and then they saw the room. They're like, wow, this is great. So all good news on Thunderbird overall. If, I should say when, we get these tenants locked up on $20 a square foot, that puts the valuation of this building at $1.5 million, which is just absolutely wild. Bought it for $618,300. We got money on the side for $250,000. So if we can get that $1.5 million valuation, we'll be able to pull all of our money out, and then some. Calculations is at about 70%. We can cash out $181,000. So we refinance this building. We get a check for $181,000, and at that rate of $20 a square foot, we're going to cash flow about $5,000 a month, which is nuts, which is absolutely nuts. $0 into the deal. In fact, we're getting a check for $181,000 to own a building that cash flows $4,000 to $5,000 a month that we can depreciate and pay practically no taxes for. I mean, we're going to get like, I don't know, $300,000, 400, maybe like $300,000 of depreciation on that, meaning we can write off $300,000 of income and not pay taxes on that, which is absolutely just insane to me. So if all of this works out, this would be a great deal, which is so funny because the whole time I was like, grand. That's the one. That's our cash cow. And this was kind of just in the back sitting there. And now actually having the numbers, having the figures, hearing these numbers from the leasing agents coming back and solidifying that just makes me feel very, very good, because the last 30 days, not going to lie, I've been a mess. It's been very, very stressful. Sleep's getting affected. Everything's getting affected. Just when you're stressed, I'm not working out as much because I'm busy running around. So I feel about 1,000,000 times better about this deal. In fact, I'm more excited about this one right now than Grand. And we did not have to bring any outside capital partners that got equity. So that means John and I get to split and keep our ownership percentage at 50-50, which is just awesome. It's just awesome. I'll tell you what, if it does work out that way, talk about a life-changing deal, right? Nowadays in the housing world, single-family residence, I don't know if anyone's pulling out any money at all. Breaking even, I think, would be a complete like grand slam deal in the single-family space. So to be able to do this in commercial with these big numbers on an office building that nobody wanted and no one even wanted to lend on would be just a true testament that deals are deals. They're out there, man. They're just out there for the taking. And you don't need to do that many. A couple deals like that a year. You do that for, say you do 2 a year, bringing it, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. In 2 years, you're bringing in $20,000 worth of cash flow on top of, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, that's $640,000 of tax-free income, and you're cash flowing that much. It's like, dude, we're there. You're done. I mean, you can totally retire off of that. And that's not even including appreciation or anything like that. So just crazy to think about. That's definitely the power of commercial real estate and real estate in general. Now I know how things work out. I've been in real estate long enough to know that it's wild, it's crazy. Nothing usually works out the way that you think. So I'm not sitting here cashing that check yet. However, it just gives me a good overall feeling, a warm, fuzzy feeling, if you will, on the inside. And that's great because I need a break for sure. That's pretty much the Thunderbird update there. Final push, getting everything taken care of. I'd like to get those pictures taken next week, get this puppy listed. And who knows? I mean, you could get a tenant on day one, and we can get a tenant before the end of the year. That would just be absolutely insane. Then the work would be going out and finding a bank. My first play would be to go to the broker that I used to fund the hard money on Thunderbird. He does a ton of different assets or different types of loans. and it would be great to use him again and get a note. He mentioned something to me about a product that's a 30-year, because usually there's a 5-year balloon on these things. If we can get a 30-year fixed rate on this, are you kidding me? Sign me up. I mean, that would be just the biggest win of the century right there, to get that rate locked in, pull out that money, and just sail off into the sunset and let that asset go to work for us. So overall, very exciting. That's all good and dandy. Hopefully, the sooner we get that tenant in, then we can start shopping around to different banks. And that's something that I have not done yet neither. So excited to go out there, build some banking connections, because I know that I will need those in the future. Have been lucky to not have those so far, especially with the first deal being seller finance. So I know having solid bankers in your back pocket is going to be a great deal for the program. And a little update on Grand Avenue. That's been kind of cruising along, having some mild tenant issues with payment and working out different payment plans and everything. I met the gentleman up. I got $10,000 straight cash on Friday of last week. So that was fun. Having $10,000 has been a while since I've had that much cash at once. So it was kind of cool to just have that. But also it's like, come on, bro, we need to get you on some ACH payments. I can't be mobbing around cash, depositing in the bank and doing all this and that. So that's been a chore working with him. However, I feel like he's on the up and up. Every time I go there, more and more cars are getting worked on. The shop's busy with people and cars. So I have a good feeling that he will be caught up in no time and get everything rocking and rolling. It would be great to have that all shored up by January as well. But to get that cash input into that account is also a great thing, stabilizes that asset for quite a bit longer. And nothing else really crazy going on Grand. The other tenant's been great, been paying his rent, and that's been kind of on the back burner. The other exciting thing here is their first 3 months of rent were at a reduced rate, and come January 1, they are on a big bump up. One of them's getting bumped up, I believe, by like $700 a month, and the other one's going up by 500, 400 and something bucks. So that's like an extra $1,000 coming in, extra $12,000 annually just from those bumps alone adds, $100,000 worth of equity into that deal. So end of the year or beginning of next year, I won't be saying $2.5 million, maybe it'll be 2.6. And then if we get tenants in there, there'll be an extra, $500,000. So hopefully by the beginning of next year, I can say started at zero halfway through the year and we got $3.1 million in real estate. That's going to be fun to say for sure. And we're going to be into those deals for like 2.1, 2.2, coming a little bit more than that, probably 2.3, 2.4, but adding $600,000 of equity. Are you kidding me? I mean, those numbers are just asinine. That's just hard for me to believe. However, very real possibility of having that happen, especially in a couple years. Grand's going to be worth $3 million once all of those bumps hit on the rent. It's going to be a $3 million building, just that alone. So you're talking with that and Thunderbird, $4.5 million worth of commercial real estate, just like that, with $2 million worth of equity or $1.8 million worth of equity. That sounds cool to me, man. I'll tell you what, that would really put me at ease for sure. As I mentioned before, just doing all these things, the big numbers, is definitely nerve-wracking and it's taking its toll. But just like anything else, starting from scratch, doing something new is always going to be a fun adventure. So that's pretty much that, guys. My focus is going to be finishing up Thunderbird. Going to be spending the next 2 days there, pretty much full days of getting that all buttoned up. Once that is finished, I can take a deep breath. Maybe I should take a little trip, do something. I haven't played golf in like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So it's like, man, I got to get back on the course, dude. I joined that country club and really haven't been using and abusing that membership, which is unfortunate. So get back to reality a little bit, slow down, get back in the groove. And especially now, end of the year, things slow down dramatically. It would be nice to kind of a perfect time to take a week or two off and kind of just coast and enjoy time with the family, enjoy the Christmas and holiday season. And then January 1 comes and boom, we're right back at it. So that's a wrap. Episode 16 here. Really appreciate you guys tuning in and listening every week. It means a lot to me. if you are listening to this and you feel like you know somebody that could get benefit out of it or would enjoy listening to a podcast like this, please share it. Please leave me a review. Let me know what you think of the podcast. I would love to hear your thoughts. Follow me on Instagram, john.kleisch. I do post updates and videos and pictures on that so you guys can follow along and see how the progress is actually looking on a picture, not in person, but you know what I'm saying. So that's a wrap, boys and girls. Really appreciate you tuning in, and take her easy.